we're down to that last one in practice sheet number 2 for molar mass. So molar mass, practice number 2, question number 10. Here's how we do it if you need a little bit of help or you just wanted to go through it to make sure that you were correct. So the first thing that I like to do is go ahead and name what this compound is. So we have to look at the first element right here. We have Ga. Okay, I know what that is. I know what type it is or anything else, but do you know what the name of that is or the type? Well, let's figure it out. So let's go ahead and go to the periodic table. Let's find Ga. Ga is right here, gallium, number 7. Now, is that a type 1 or type 2? Okay, now we look where it's at. We can say, I don't know if it's type 1 or type 2. Where do we go? We go to page 14 in our packet. So if we scroll down here to page 14, and we see that, I'm just going to keep scrolling this way, make it a little bit easier, past this one, there, this next page. It says page 12, but this is actually page 14. We find gallium. Oh, gallium is right here. It's in column 3A or 13. It's below the staircase, so that means that it is a metal. So that's good. It's a type 3. It's in white, so then white says it's type 1, so we're just going to go ahead and name what it is. So let's go back. So we're going to start right off with Ga, and that's going to be gallium. Okay, so we have gallium. Must be 2 L's in that, gallium. So what is the name of the other part? We have SO3. SO3. Well, that's a polyatomic ion. We know it's a polyatomic ion. First of all, there's more than 2 elements. We know that there's at least 1 polyatomic ion in this compound, but it's in parentheses. That gives us the rule. Now, we had 3 of them. Okay, so we just have to go ahead and put what it is, SO3. Let's go back to our packet. Let's scroll to the very end this time. And once we scroll to the very end, we're going to look at SO3. Well, here he is, SO3. So it's sulfite. And that makes sense because sulfate is SO4, 1 less oxygen is sulfite. So let's get back out of there, and then we can just put in our sulfite, not sulfate. Remember, that ending right there is important to make sure that we have, and we can always look at our polyatomic ion sheet. So this is gallium sulfite. So what is the molar mass of gallium sulfite? What do we have to do? Well, what we have to do is we have to go ahead and write in all of our elements. We have gallium, we have sulfur, and we have oxygen. Those are the only 3. Gallium's right there, sulfur's right here, and oxygen right there. So the next thing we have to do is write down how many of each one that we have. Well, gallium has a subscript, so we have 2 galliums. Okay, sulfur has a subscript of 1, but I have it 3 times, so 1 times 3 is 3. And then we have our oxygen. We have 3 oxygens times 3, because remember, this is everything inside that, so we end up having 9 oxygens. Now we have to go ahead and put in the molar mass. Now, where do you get the molar mass, or I should say the atomic weight of each one of these? The atomic weight will help us figure out what is the molar mass of 1 mole of that particular element, or in the atomic weight is that. But remember, we're talking about the compound itself and figure out the molar mass of the compound. So we have 2 galliums, 3 sulfurs, and 9 oxygens. So let's go back to our periodic table in our packet, and let's see what we have. So we'll scroll up to that. Here's our periodic table. Gallium is 70. Sulfur is 32, and oxygen is 16. So gallium is 70, sulfur is 32, oxygen is 16. So let's go ahead and go back to that. So we're going to put gallium is 70, sulfur is 32, and oxygen is 16. Now all we have to do is go ahead and put in what it equals. So 70 times 2, hopefully we can do that in our head, 140. 32 times 3, ooh, that's pretty close to 100, but let's go ahead and put it in right here. So we have 32 times 3 equals 96. Okay, we'll put in 96 there. And then we have maybe the toughest one right there, are 9 oxygens. So 9 times 16, that's going to equal 144. So 144. And again, a lot of times I like to just double check. So 9 times 16 equals 144. 3 times 32 equals 96. And 2 times 140, oops, excuse me, 70 equals 140. So let's go ahead and add those all together, and we'll come up with our molar mass. So I'm going to go ahead and put in our molar mass. Our molar mass equals, and we're going to add those all together. So 140 plus 96 plus 144 equals 380. So we're going to put it in here, 380. Okay, and let's double check that again. 140 plus 96 plus 144 equals 380. And that's 380 what? And we have to put this in here, so make sure that you put it in here. It's 380 grams of gallium sulfide. Again, I could just go ahead and copy this and put that down there and paste. That would be just as good as putting the formula in there. Matter of fact, I'm just going to do that. Again, always need to highlight it and make sure that we have it what it is. So again, we double check everything, triple check if we need to, and there we go. The molar mass of gallium sulfide is 380 grams. So, as always, go Mohawks. Nelson out.